January 14, 2019 will now come to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance led by President.
I pledge allegiance to
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Nucci.
Here.
Mr. Chesno.
Here.
Ms. Dixon. Here. Mr. Ellis.
Here.
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Tebbets. Mrs. Wilford. Here. Mayor Stetz. Here. Solicitor Garvin.
Here. Okay. Do we have any requests for citizens to be heard today? Thank you. Engineers report, Mr. Flo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Working on closing out most of the 2019 SHACOG O&M projects. Most of the work is complete on all of them except for the manhole lining. That project was rebid. We hope to have it starting soon. And then once we get these closed out, we're also looking this month to start the list for the 2019 repairs and stuff like that. That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for the engineer? Thank you,
Should we
Brian.
also mention West Prospect on the list of things that were done?
Yeah, for the road program, yeah, we still have that outstanding too, probably in the spring here whenever that starts.
Have you already had the pre-construction meeting for that?
We did have one. We will have another one
Okay.
whenever we get closer to that weather.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Brian. Can I please have a motion for approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 14, 2018? Motion by Mr. Chesno, second by Ms. Dixon. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Committee reports, building zone, Mr. Tebbets is not here tonight. Does anybody have anything for, I don't know if you guys had any meeting or anything? No? We have some outstanding issues. Obviously, we still have the parking issue that hasn't been resolved. We have appointments to planning commission. We have appointments to zoning hearing board. So hopefully Mr. Tebbets shows up eventually. Anything else on that?
We gotta check the property maintenance, we gotta check the building underwriters, for building inspection. BIU.
Yeah, I did see something about that. There was something about adopting a new code or something, but I'm not sure if we need to do that. So we'll double check. You know what? I'll make us up a note. I'll check it. I'll call him tomorrow.
I didn't know
He was
if
here
still
today. I
coming
don't even
on.
think, I didn't forget all about
Oh, he
it.
comes in.
I'll call Dan. Yeah, I'll give Dan a call. Okay, Parks and Recreation, Mr. Chesney.
I have no report.
That sounds good. Any questions for Parks and Recreation? Thank you, Joe. Highway, Health, and Sanitation, Ms. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a meeting and discussed the 2018 road project that was delayed and will be starting first thing in the spring. We also discussed the next road project, which would be probably Wheeler. We're going to contact the utility companies, make sure that we're not going to break up the road twice, so be aware of that, and we'll have try to get bids in as early as possible. I do have a few motions tonight. A motion to authorize an expenditure to SHACOG in the amount of $7,416.55 for year 12 of the joint pipeline project as outlined in the engineer's letter of January 2nd, 2019.
Motion is made, seconded by Mrs. Wolford. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chesno.
Yes.
Ms. Dixon.
Yes.
Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford. Yes. Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
And I also have a motion to approve the expenditure not to exceed $3,500 to the salt factory to purchase a calcium magnesium mix for pre-treating our roads.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Ellis. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chesno.
Yes.
Ms. Dixon.
Yes.
Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford. Yes. Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
And we do have our dump truck, 2000 dump truck on municipal bid right now. And I just looked at the bid and it's at 3,100. We started at 300, so we're doing pretty well. And I also had a meeting today with the National League of Cities for the service line warranty program. They gave us a synopsis of what our letter will look like. It's not the actual letter at this point, they're going to send it again, and the, will be approved by us for that amount that you discussed, the 10,000. And the, we met the service representative today that will be representing our communities. And Debbie met with them to discuss the financial portion of that as well. So we're going to move forward with that hopefully next month. We'll get that mailing out to us. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a question about the wheeler. I think a few months ago, Brian, we had talked about some kind of technology to maybe do some underground mapping on that. Has that been further discussed, or do you have any more details on that?
I did look that up because we looked into that last spring. I think I sent that over. It was, I want to say it was 10 to 15 grand, depending on what level you wanted. But it basically depends on how many passes they go through. If they do more passes, it's more accurate, costs more. I could send that over again, but I believe it was in the 10 to 15 copies.
Karen, is there any discussion about that?
We did discuss that. We talked about what the materials would be, you know, to fill that void. So,
Well, I guess the big question is how much of it's void and how much of it's really needs done
Yeah.
right now, and
As far
how
as
much
sections
it needs
are-
torn up versus resurfaced, and if we can avoid that, then it pays for itself.
Mhm.
But if we don't get the good data back, then it's not worth doing.
Right.
So I guess how confident are you in the data?
Somewhat.
So no, so you're not.
I've used different, different locating companies, and it didn't really work out well. This is kind of a different scenario though than what I was trying, but I can call them back and get a revised quote, maybe some references and things and something similar.
Well, I think this is the time to look at it. I mean, whether we decide to do it or not. I mean, we have this year to do that, because we're not gonna pay that this year, right? Or no, but you're still thinking about maybe doing that this year?
2019.
Yeah, that's what I thought, so, I don't know, if we get some more data, if it's
If
not
you'd
too,
like
if it doesn't cost too much, it might save us a lot of money down the road. Okay, and then this is Karen, well, we talked about this real briefly, there's an Alcoasand meeting at the end of, this month, I believe, about sewer lines and them basically taking, I think it's about them taking over sewer lines and stuff. Was anybody in the committee gonna go to that? I know Rick said I think he was gonna go to the one in Shaler
Yeah.
at the end of the month. Was anybody from the committee gonna
I'm
go to
gonna
that?
see if I can get to the one that's in Avalon.
Okay. And then, this really isn't yours, I guess this is, I don't even know whose this is. TOD, I think it was a TOD meeting. Tim, you're the rep for that. Was there a TOD meeting last month? I think there was. Greg, did you go to that?
I think,
Anybody attend that?
last month I did not.
Okay. Was there anything new on that? Greg?
It was the last of a series of 3. They, it was about implementing everything they talked about. It was good. It was a all-day session. Several municipalities, several planning companies were there. Took lots of notes. We're gonna get a customized report from Dover Cole, which is the main planning, and PennDOT, and just kind of it'll be a summary of what was discussed and ideas, and they also, Debbie printed this for me tonight. They also referenced this user guide to zoning reform, which is really just a nice little book that just shows you how to get started looking at your town and thinking about trends and design. It's really easy to read. It's really nice to just kind of get things going. So I made one for Jim Marsilio also. And we'll start having our meetings, which, Debbie, I want to get you some dates to advertise eventually, and then we'll just start talking about it. Keep you posted, come back with some recommendations.
Well, we appreciate you being diligent about it.
Sure, they were really good sessions, really good.
Good. Okay, any other questions for highways? Thank you, Karen. Police and fire, Mrs. Wolford.
Thank you. Not too much. Jack is looking into a possible purchase of a new police vehicle that he's researching and trying to get some more information for next month regarding that. And then I have a motion that's not on the agenda that I need to add I have a motion to appoint Bob Clark to the Civil Service Committee to a 6-year term expiring on December 31st, 2024.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Chestnut. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
No.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nucci?
Yes.
And then before I move on, there was actually 5 fire calls this past month. A wire down, a false alarm, and one of those was a detector that was installed, a gas odor, and then a cooking incident fire alarm. So that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for police and fire? Thank you, Samantha. Finance, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, I have a motion to ratify the payment of December 28th, 2018 payroll in the amount of $24,034.48, and the January 3rd, 2019 payroll in the amount of $25,289.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded loudly by Ms. Dixon. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Ms. Dixon?
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nucci?
Yes.
A motion to ratify the payment of expenses on December 18th, 2018 as follows: General Fund, $30,764.88. Recreation Fund, $54.16. Sanitary Sewer Fund, $14,176.59. And the payroll fund, $1,927.45.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Ms. Dixon. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nucci?
Yes.
A motion to pay the expenses for the month of January 2019 as follows: General Fund, $18,853.50. Recreation Fund, $485.64. Sanitary Sewer Fund, $15,189.40. And the payroll fund, $2,496.50. And finally, the liquid fuels fund, $5,644.40.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Ms. Dixon. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nucci?
Yes.
A motion to exonerate the Borough Real Estate Tax Collector from further collection of the 2018 real estate tax for the borough. This exoneration does not apply to the collection of delinquent real estate taxes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Ms. Dixon. Any questions on the
I
motion?
do have a question. I just need clarification on what that actually represents, if we're exonerating her for 2018, but not for the delinquent.
Right, the current what I call current year tax collector only has legal ability to collect taxes till December 31st of each calendar year. Then the tax collection law requires him or her or it to submit a request to be exonerated or excused from further collection of the current year taxes, and those taxes are turned over by that tax collector to the delinquent tax collector. So it's more or less a formality, but it's required under the tax collection law.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nucci?
Yes.
And one other item, we were trying to get the website committee together. We've been delayed somewhat from one of the people that were on the committee, but we have decided to go forward without that person.
Okay, good.
So we should be meeting sometime soon.
Okay, good. All right, Tim, I just had a question. A few months ago and then previous to that, we discussed about that fire truck payment we need to make to the city. Has there been any discussion with your committee about what kind of fee schedule, about how much we wanted to actually budget per year? Because I think the number I have here that I originally said was 90, but that was from last year's number, but, this year we've actually budgeted 95. So we really need to move forward with this because we were court ordered to, disperse that money, so. Has there been any discussion within your committee about how you want to handle this?
No, there has not. The only discussion was the council discussion about the 95,000, and it was my understanding that that's what we were going to move on with.
Okay, do we want to, well, the sheet I passed out, it was just my rough numbers from last year that said 90 because that was our budget amount for last year. So if we make it 95, then that's going to add about another $27,000 or $35,000 to that number. So I think that's fine. We can always tweak it down the road, but in the short term, I guess the first question is, council want to make this fee schedule for the 90 or the 95?
I say 95.
95? I agree with that. If we got 95 budgeted for 19, we can afford 95 hopefully for the next 6 or 7 years, whatever. And then the second question is, does council want Mr. Garvin and I to meet with the city finance and work out this fee schedule? We can do that,
I think we should.
because we need to get that money out of that account. Okay, we'll do that. All right, anything else for finance? Thank you, Tim. General Government, Mr. Ellis.
All right, I have two motions, and then, first motion is to hire Chris Wolford as a permanent part-time cleaning person for the borough building at the rate of $14 an hour, not to exceed 15 hours a week. We had no applications come in whenever we had posted for 2 weeks. So we're just gonna put them on full-time, put them on the part-time schedule as a full-time
I'll second that.
permanent.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Chesno. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford? Mr. Nugent?
Abstain.
Oh, on that note with Chris, if anybody sees, he stripped the floors and waxed the main hall. And there's 3 coats of wax. He's gonna wake up and the police have the, panel derby to buff that, so it looks good.
Well, as it turns out, that's gonna be at the church, so I.
Oh, it's gonna be at the
yeah,
church?
I just found that out this afternoon, so.
Okay.
So I talked to Steve about getting buffing pads, so we're gonna try that hopefully tomorrow.
Okay, and then we have the room up, the 2 rooms up here need to get done, but we have to use different, because it's a different kind of tiles, we have to use different strippers and different, pads and stuff like that on it, so that, they're gonna be done next sometime before summer comes. And he spends a lot of time because whenever they were waxing the floor before, they were just waxing over whatever's on the floor, they didn't off it first. So he was in the corners with a putty knife and scraping off everything, getting it all cleaned out, so it looks really good over there. So, now you can actually see how bad the floors are faded from the sun. And I have a second motion to authorize the girls softball to use Memorial Hall on Sunday, April 14th, 2019, from noon to 8 p.m., and to waive the fee for the meeting.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Chesno. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Chestnut?
Yes.
Ms. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford?
Yes.
Mr. Nugent?
Yes.
And then we also, the mailbox, if it hasn't come in yet, we haven't heard from Steve yet, we ordered it.
What's
Yeah,
going on
it's,
with that?
I got
They
an
said-
email that it's being shipped.
Oh,
They said about 30 days, it's been
Yeah.
more than that. And then we had that meeting on the front doors, and they're scheduling sometime for March or April, we figure, they're gonna do the doors. And the buzzer, oh, and then we're pricing out for the buzzer with the cameras, so we have, we got prices a little bit high, so we're gonna get a couple more prices on it. We're gonna put a buzzer in for safety, so Debbie don't get it up into the door, so there's gonna be a buzzer with an intercom camera, and they're gonna be able to get from at least 2 to the desk in the office, maybe a third, we're gonna price it out first to see what it is. And I think that's all I got on there.
any requests for, any questions for General Government? Thank you, Jerry. Mayor's report, Mayor Stetson.
President, for the month of December, we had 211 calls, and we received a check from the magistrate's office for $1,441.70.
Okay. Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. Secretary report, Mrs. Stecker.
Thank you. Prior to the meeting, I distributed the state financial interest reports. They are due to me by May 1st. The November revenue and expense report compared to the budget was all in your mailboxes for you to review. I will be working on completing the state forms, including the liquid fuels report that is due by the end of the month. And I will be obtaining quotes for the public officials and employment practices insurance policy. This insurance expires in April. That's all I have.
Okay, any questions for the secretary?
The statement, that's for 2018, correct?
Correct.
Right. Any other questions for the secretary? Thank you, Debbie. Solicitor's report, Mr. Barlow.
Just to follow up on that financial interest statement, you can go online at the State Ethics Commission site. You can do a fill-in form and then they email it back to be completed and forward it to the,
So that'd be easier for you, Deb?
Doesn't matter.
It's still a hard copy, so.
I just need,
You need to have a hard
I
copy
need-
of file signature.
Put it like this, the reason our auditors and any audit that comes in automatically looks where you work to make sure there's no,
conflict.
yes.
Then, you know what, I've been through this in a couple of communities as well, but thankfully not here. If there's an ethics investigation, the first thing they ask for is state.
Right. I mean, liquid fuels is the first thing before they even start is looking at them.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for the solicitor? Thank you, Bob. President's report. Everything's going wonderfully with the call. Karen, do you have a call report? I have no comment on the call. Couple things. I wasn't able to get the Seven Springs reservation. I was waiting for Tim and Paul. Tim, do you know what your availability is going to be for that weekend?
I am available.
So
I
you'll-
thought I had responded to that, but I guess I didn't.
Okay, so
It'd just be me though,
just for you for the 3 days?
yes.
Okay, good. All right, and the other thing I have is I would like to request a very brief executive session to discuss a personnel matter. At the end of this meeting, we'll adjourn to executive session. Any questions for me? Okay, any old business or new business?
I forgot to bring up one thing. We were talking about the part-time person for the office.
And we will talk about that in executive session.
Okay. All right.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Any other old business or new business? Any public comment? Anyone else?
I just have a quick question. You mentioned earlier the planning commission terms are up.
Yeah,
expired.
Mr. Marcilio's is up, so I'll just give him a call.
Do you know any other two are up by chance? Anyone?
He's the only one that's up right now. I
Okay.
know that. So I think you're up after next year. I think you're up again in 19, just from glancing at it today. But I know he's the only one up right now. Okay? Anything else? Joe?
Motion to adjourn into
Second.
executive session?
Second by Ms. Dixon, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Adjourn to executive session.